Hi everyone, and it's time for the episode 1 of Modify series by PC Crazy. Let's go! So in today's episode, as every other in the future, we're going to have 4 builds. The first build is going to be T4U Tech for You reviews by Bobby. It's Batman vs Joker build. Then we have Dushan with his Batman build. After that we're going to talk about Pine PC design with the project Metallurgy, and after that the final build, it's going to be by TechRed Modes, the project Revolt. So let's start with T4U reviews by Bobby. Now for the creativity, I'm giving 7 points because he did an incredible job when it comes to showing off the purple and green color. Those pipes are really nice touch with liquid inside, and even though if it doesn't have a perfect shape of the pipes, it just pulls out the madness from Joker. Now also the figurines inside next to the graphic card and all, with the graphic card nicely colored, it really looks epic. The bad blade on front with the Joker laughter is also a nice touch, and the whole devastation look of Joker really brings the whole build with the significant looks. Shame the other side of the case isn't modified, but okay. The front and the side panel really make it look nice and pull out the Batman and Joker stuff really nicely. Talking about cable management, it is done very good in the terms of you can hardly see the cables, and they're nicely hidden behind the graphic card, behind the motherboard and everything. But I think honestly purple and green cables, even though the whole build is, you know, screaming black, purple and green, the purple and green cables would really make this case stand out even more. And using basic cables, we're talking about modifying, we're not talking about cleanness of the look. The cable management needs to be done according to the color scheme of the whole build. So basically I wouldn't say it's bad, it's really brilliant cable management, but custom sleeved cables would make this case look just perfect. So 5 points for the cable management. Now for the final design, it shows the madness of the Joker, which is really important in this case. It does look nice. Even though I really like the build and how everything is arranged and done carefully, the plexiglass would look even cooler, in my opinion, if it had some scratches on it and maybe even rust. You know, because when you look every series, every movie, and when they show the Arkham Asylum fence and the entrance, there's always rust, it's always looking old, and that would look really sick. I mean, I really like the plexiglass and everything, how he spray painted over the the Arkham sign, but I would say the final design, the final cutting, the side cuts on the plexiglass aren't done carefully. So if they are a bit, you know, wobbly, and if they're not perfect, then the whole plexiglass shouldn't be perfect, because everything else, every other corner looks extremely perfect, and even the spray painted Arkham sign would need definitely, well, it looks good, it just needs to have the complete same design through the whole plexiglass. So because of that, I would say 6 points for the final design. Talking about execution, now basically the best thing about this build is the power supply shroud, because he gave so much attention on the details on the power supply shroud. It has, as I said, loads of details with those pipes, Batman blade, and since he was going to the devastating look, he should have made something with that plexiglass which would make it even stand out more. I mean, the whole build in whole is perfect, but we're going now into details. The score for the execution is 6 altogether. Now let's talk about quality. Everything looks nicely designed, nicely done. The pipes really look perfect. Altogether, it's really incredible how he came with the idea. Now the one thing is, when you glue those pipes to the flat side of the power supply shroud and the case, there is a certain possibility that that same glue, well, I had this situation with that, it can fall off. I'm not saying that's 100% definitely that it will fall off, because it doesn't have to be, But you know, when transporting this, if for instance he was invited to an event where he had the ability to, you know, showcase his mod and everything else, it will be a bit difficult to carry the front panel and the power supply shroud because everything is sticking out. The plexiglass is holding very nicely to the original hinges, to the original screws of the tempered glass. So I would say this is really cool how he measured everything and drilled exactly holes as the plexiglass could be kept right on that side. This is really cool, and I mean for the Batman and Joker fans, this is really cool. So all in all, 6 for the quality. Now, as I said, we have two Batman Joker builds combination, but each name is a bit different. Now it's time to show Dušan's build, which is Batman's build. Now, talking about creativity on Dušan's build, this is definitely something I'm really impressed how he managed to, you know, on the back side of the panel he diversed the bats and the hahas from Joker, which looks really nice. And in the middle you have Heath Ledger's face, which looks really cool all together. This is something that I will have to think about for a bit longer, you know, to come up, oh yeah, okay, this corner is here, this corner is there, I'm going to combine everything like that. This is really cool, and to be honest, I really love it. The interior, cool power supply shroud, cool logo on the CPU cooler, definitely nice touch, but there is something missing on the right side of the motherboard inside the case, and I would say for creativity I will give 6 points. Now, cable management, talking about cable management, he did the same thing as Bobby did, but since he was going for a, let's say, budget case modding with only stickers, and he used the original power supply cables, he did Bobby did a bit better, definitely. So I would say for cable management I would give 4 points. It's not that I'm degrading his work, it's just simply custom sleeved cables are definitely must have in the projects that are custom built. Final design, it is actually a nice and slick build with loads of Batman and Joker symbolism, but for instance Bobby did loads of details on front 2 panels and Dušan did enough on all, so basically it is definitely for a 6. Talking about execution, taking small steps in modding and adding only sticker is a great way to start with some basic modding stuff to get the idea in flow, but next time he does something he needs to start with some case modding parts, so cutting, adding, just something like Bobby did with more definitely more work on the case. Everything looks cool, and I don't hate stickers, I just think that's the easiest way of modding, so the score is 4 this time again. And talking about the quality, this is, as I said, so everywhere is stickers. I don't know how good the quality of the sticker is, but if he, I don't know, paid a bit more and he get a high quality stickers, this could be very nicely done. The thing is, he can move the case everywhere without you know, thinking about will he scratch something, will the, for instance, pipes. Bobby, sorry, I'm not talking too much about your build, but if he decides to move the case from one part of the room to the next part of the room, he doesn't have to take into consideration that he has something that it will break. I know I did some builds that I will have to be very careful while carrying them around. So for the quality, 6 points. Now, next up isn't a basic build, this is a scratch build from Pine PC Design, the project Metallurgy, and this is something that is definitely out of the box. Now, talking about creativity, I got the information on the build that the goal with this build was to showcase the water cooling and cables and give it a bit of an industrial look. It is a scratch build with steel pipes which are welded together, and taking into consideration that for a scratch build it does need some ideas more and how to start and how to finish, definitely deserves a 7 for creativity. Now, talking about cable management, imagine all those cables going through this huge case, huge scratch build, and even going through these steel parts. Everything is nicely arranged. You have, even at the back side, you have loads of cables stretching out through the whole case, going back to the graphic card, to the motherboard. This is really outstanding work with the cables, and there are custom sleeved cables. So basically this is without a doubt an 8 points for cable management for Pine PC design. Now we're going now to the final design. Long cables, nice steel chassis, created windows, a side panel, attention to details, and the old pipes are so perfect that this is really incredible. Now the only thing that I'm curious about this build is dust and taking care of the dust, because as you can see from these steel pipes and from the side panel glass or plexiglass, whatever it is, there are still some openings which, you know, computers are really a magnet to dust. So definitely for the final design I will go with 7 points. Now execution, 2 custom distro plates. Great connection between the steel pipes to achieve the industrial looks, but I would add some fake screws, you know, on each side of the end of the pipes, so it would give more industrialism to the case. It won't get that much clean look, but definitely would make the build pop up with just you know, I won't say basic, but let's say basic pipes, so everything is, you know, very clean, but just, you know, adding those screws, 2 screws on each corner would make it even more, I would say, industrial. Everything is perfectly organized, arranged, pipes, cables, connections, just amazing. So I think we can all agree that this case deserves 8 points here for the execution. Now talking about the quality, the whole build looks really solid, heavy but solid and functional. So the cooling is definitely really great, but the only problem when taking quality into consideration is dust. So you have to take into consideration when you're doing such a huge build, definitely a huge and heavy build, that you don't have to move it that much. If you have I don't know, that dust blower or anything, it could be easily cleaned, but still the final execution altogether is really good. So basically for the quality I will give 7 points to Pine PC for Project Metallurgy. Now last but not least, we have Techred mods with Project Revolt, and we're going to talk about it now. So let's go with the creativity. Incorporation on everything, and all the details are just simply incredible. Literally everything is modified except for fittings on the water cooling loop. Everything is carefully planned. Color scheme is definitely brilliant and definitely deserves an 8 for everything done here. Now, talking about cable management, cables that he did personally, the only thing that I would say is those cable combs should be a bit more up, so the front cables, when you look at them, don't look like they're going each in every direction, but I can see at the back you have loads of cable combs. Maybe more cable combs, the cables would be grouped better on the front view, but not bad at all, so 7 points for cable management. Final design, we have orange and white, is a brilliant color scheme and the design is immaculate. But as I said on the last build, what about dust? Cleaning could be done easier with the dust blower, of course, but still a white mesh front on the opening wouldn't degrade the whole look of the build and would still make it really cool. Altogether, plexiglass side cutouts are great with those lines, and adding partners like that, you almost don't even notice them when you look at the side panel. You don't even notice the manufacturers who actually supported the project, and this is really cool because he incorporated everything nicely to fit in the build. So love this one, and because of that, 7 points for the final design. Now the execution, painting, stickers, custom panels, everything looks so solid and modern on all sides, with still having the standard case for easy transportation to everywhere. So basically, without, you know, too much talking, 8 points for the execution. Quality, as I mentioned before, everything looks solid and there aren't any parts where something could or could it fall off. The loop is done great and nothing attached to it, so there's nothing here to decrease the integrity of it. And I would take the same fact into consideration for the whole build. Overall spent on custom parts, paint, acrylics, sleeving supplies is $120, basically 8 points for the quality. Now let's sum it all up and talk about final points. So Bobby from T4U Reviews, and with his Batman vs Joker build, gets 30 points for the build. Dusan with his Batman build gets 26 points altogether. Pine PC Design with the project Metallurgy gets 37 points, and the last build that we did from TechRed Modes, he got 38 points. Now we have all the points, but now it's time for you guys to vote your favorite build. In 1 week I will sum up all your votes, guys, and we will in the next episode know who got the most votes. Now there's also one more thing. In 4 weeks we will have a giveaway for you guys that vote. One lucky winner will win something. So vote now. Don't forget to enter down below in the comment section which is your favorite build of all 4. And that's it. Thank you for watching Modify series by PC Crazy. Next episode, episode 2, is coming next Sunday, so stay tuned. There are going to be more really cool builds, without a doubt. And don't forget to click the like button and subscribe, because, well, you don't want to miss the next episode, definitely. So thank you again for watching and see you very soon. Bye bye, guys.